I woke up to the sound of chairs scraping against the classroom floor, and I knew instantly something was wrong. Where am I? I looked around and felt my chest tighten because I recognized this place too well. This can't be real, I whispered. The same classroom from my past life, the one where everything had started falling apart. Ethan, you good? Ryan Miller leaned over his desk and frowned at me. You look like you've seen a ghost, he said. I forced a small smile and shook my head. I'm fine, just tired, I replied. But I wasn't fine, because I remembered everything. Mia Reynolds, sitting 2 rows ahead of me, turned slightly, and for a moment our eyes met. My heart clenched painfully, but I didn't look away. She looked the same as before, beautiful, unaware of the damage she would cause. Mia looks at you again, Ryan whispered. Don't tell me you're still into her, he added. I let out a soft breath. No, not anymore, I said, because I already lived through the ending. Lucas Grant entered the classroom like he owned it. Here comes the king, someone muttered. Lucas smiled confidently and scanned the room. He acts like everyone here is beneath him, Ryan said. I stayed silent, because I knew what was coming. Mia looked at Lucas again, her eyes brighter than they had been all morning. Of course she does, I muttered. Ryan frowned. What was that? He asked. Nothing, I said quickly. I clenched my fists under the desk, because this was the moment everything always went wrong. In my last life, I begged, I fought, I broke. Not this time, I whispered to myself. Lucas walked past my desk and paused for a second. Hey, Ethan, right? He said. I looked up slowly. Yeah, I said. He smirked. Try not to fall behind again, he said. Laughter rippled through the room. I felt it like a knife, but I smiled anyway. Don't worry, I won't, I said. Ryan stared at me confused. Dude, what is wrong with you today? He asked. Nothing is wrong, I said, but inside I was screaming, because I already knew the future. Mia would choose Lucas, and I would lose, but not this time. I stared at Mia again and noticed her fingers nervously tapping the desk. She always did that before making bad decisions. Stop staring at her, Ryan said. I'm not, I replied. The classroom door creaked again and silence fell instantly. Lucas straightened his jacket like it was a crown. Mia took a slow breath. This is where everything changes, I thought. Ryan leaned closer. You sure you're okay, man? He whispered. I'm better than okay, I said. That was the truth, because I wasn't the same Ethan anymore. Lucas sat down behind Mia. Hey, beautiful, he said. Mia turned red instantly. I clenched my jaw. Ryan noticed. You're seriously not reacting to that? He asked. Why should I? I said, because I already saw how this ends. Lucas glanced at me briefly. I met his eyes without fear. For the first time, he looked unsure for a second. Then he smiled again. Interesting, he said quietly. I leaned forward slightly. Yeah, I said under my breath. Very interesting indeed. Ryan shook his head. You're acting like a completely different person today, he said. Maybe I am, I replied. Mia stood up suddenly. Lucas, can I talk to you? She asked. My chest tightened again. There it is, I whispered. The beginning of the end, I said. Lucas smiled and nodded. Sure, Mia, he said. She walked past me without looking at me. That hurt more than anything. I stood up slowly. Where are you going? Ryan asked. To fix the ending, I said. Every step felt like rewriting fate. This time I won't break, I thought. This time I will win, I whispered. The classroom noise faded behind me, and I knew everything had already changed. The hallway outside felt colder than before as I stepped out of the classroom. Ethan, Ryan called from behind me. I didn't stop. Where are you going seriously? He shouted. Forward, I said. He ran after me. You're freaking me out, man, he said. I finally stopped and looked at him. Good, I said. Because the old me is gone, I added. He stared at me speechless. Behind us, the classroom door opened slightly. Mia stood there watching. Lucas was beside her smiling. I met her eyes one last time. No anger, no pain, just certainty. This is the new ending, I thought. And I right at myself, I whispered. The past no longer controls me. I walked away, without hesitation, feeling my second chance burning inside me like fire. I refused to lose again completely and forever this time I win. I kept my eyes forward as I walked into the classroom, ignoring the familiar pull on my chest. Morning, Ryan said, sliding into the seat beside me. I nodded. Morning. You've been acting weird for days, Ryan added. Did something happen between you and Mia? I sighed. Nothing happened, I said. That's the problem. Ryan frowned. You used to look at her like she was your whole world, he said. I smirked slightly. People change. Across the room, Mia was watching me again. I felt it, but didn't look back. He didn't even glance at her. I heard someone whisper. Ryan leaned closer. She's definitely noticing, he said. I didn't care anymore. Let her notice, I replied. Mia finally stood up and walked toward us. Ethan, can I talk to you? She asked softly. I looked at her briefly. I'm busy, I said and turned back to my notebook. Her expression froze. Ryan blinked. Bro, that was cold, he whispered. It had to be, I said. Lucas entered shortly after, laughing loudly with his friends. Move, he said to someone in front of him. The room shifted instantly. Of course he walks in like that, Ryan muttered. Lucas stopped near my desk. Still breathing, Cole? He asked with a smirk. I looked up calmly. Last I checked, I said. The class laughed. Mia looked uncomfortable. I noticed it but stayed still. You're really not entertaining him today? Ryan asked. No reason to, I replied. Lucas leaned closer. You've gotten quieter, he said. Did Mia finally realize you're not worth it? My jaw tightened. Before I could respond, a voice cut in. That's harsh, Chloe Hart said as she entered. She smiled at Lucas. But accurate, she added, glancing at Mia. Mia shifted uncomfortably. Chloe pulled her aside later. I overheard them near the hallway. Lucas is obviously better for you, Chloe whispered. Ethan's nice, but he's not important. My fingers clenched. I stayed hidden behind the doorframe. Mia hesitated. I don't know. He seems different lately, she said. Chloe scoffed. That's just him trying to get attention. Lucas is the real deal. I exhaled slowly. So that's your game, I thought. Later, Olivia Park approached my desk. You're not like everyone else here, she said. I looked at her. Is that good or bad? I asked. Different is good, she said with a small smile. I nodded. Then I'll take it. Ryan watched from behind. Since when do you talk like that? He asked. I shrugged. Since I stopped caring about the wrong things. After class, Mr. Adams called me to the front. Ethan, stay back, he said. Ryan gave me a confused look. What did you do now? He whispered. Nothing, I said. In the empty classroom, Mr. Adams adjusted his glasses. Your grades improved drastically, he said. Almost overnight. I nodded. I've been focusing, I said. He studied me. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it, he said. When I left, Mia was waiting outside. Ethan, she said. Her voice was softer than before. Why are you avoiding me? I met her eyes. I'm not avoiding you, I said. Then why does it feel like you're gone? She asked. I paused. Ryan stood a few steps behind, watching silently. I finally said, because I finally learned my value. Mia froze. What does that even mean? She asked, her voice breaking slightly. I looked past her instead of at her. It means I stopped losing myself, I said. She stepped closer. That's not you, she said. I shook my head. No, I said. That was the old me. Mia didn't move for a moment after I said it. Old me, she repeated quietly. Her voice cracked just slightly. I could see Ryan shifting behind her, uncomfortable. Mia, Ryan muttered, maybe give him space. She ignored him. You're seriously saying I don't know you anymore? She asked me. I exhaled. You knew the version of me that accepted everything, I said. Not me. Lucas suddenly appeared behind her with his hands in his pockets. Everything okay here? He asked, smiling like he already owned the situation. Mia stepped aside slightly. We were just talking, she said. Lucas looked at me. Still doing that mysterious act? He said. It won't impress anyone. I stood up slowly. I'm not here to impress anyone, I said. A few students nearby went quiet again. Lucas chuckled. Sure you're not, he said. But everyone knows your place. Olivia appeared at the end of the corridor, watching silently. I noticed her, but didn't react. Ryan whispered, this is getting tense. I replied, it always was. I just stopped noticing. Mia looked between us. Why does it feel like I'm losing you? She asked softly. I paused. That question hit differently this time. You never had me, I said. Not the real me. Silence dropped instantly. Chloe Hart was watching from farther down the hall, smiling slightly like she enjoyed the chaos she helped create. Lucas placed a hand on Mia's shoulder. Come on, he said. Don't waste your time here. Mia didn't move immediately. Her eyes stayed on me. Ryan leaned closer to me. You good? He asked. I nodded once. Better than ever. I turned away first this time, walking down the hallway. Behind me, I heard Mia whisper my name again, but I didn't stop. Let it end how it always did, I thought. Or let it change. Ryan caught up to me at the end of the hall. You're really not coming back to the old you, huh? He asked. I shook my head. There is no going back. He sighed. Just don't lose yourself completely. I glanced ahead. Already found myself, I said. That's the difference. Behind us, Mia stood still watching from a distance, her hands clenched. I think she finally gets it, Ryan said quietly. I replied, she doesn't need to get it. I started walking again. She just needs to accept it and move on like I did now. The school auditorium was louder than usual that day, full of students preparing for the group leadership event. I stood near the back, arms folded, watching everything like I already knew how it would end. Ryan nudged me. You sure you don't want to join a group properly? He asked. I shook my head. I'm already where I need to be. He frowned. That sounds like something a villain says, he muttered. I almost smiled. Maybe I've seen the ending too many times, I said. On stage, Lucas was already acting like the leader of everything. Move faster, he snapped at a junior student carrying materials. The boy flinched and rushed. I didn't react, but my jaw tightened slightly. Ryan whispered, he's always like this? Always worse, I said quietly. Mia was sitting a few rows ahead, watching Lucas with admiration that felt like a memory I had already lived through and escaped. Chloe Hart leaned into her ear. He's so confident, Chloe whispered. Unlike some people who just pretend. Mia didn't respond, but I saw her glance back at me. I looked away first. Ryan stretched his arms. We're in the same group activity, right? He asked. I nodded. For now. Lucas suddenly pointed toward our side. Ryan Miller, right? He called out. You're on my team. Ryan blinked. Wait, what? I saw it before it happened. Ryan walked up reluctantly. Just do what I say, Lucas told him. Don't mess it up. Ryan forced a smile. Sure. I stepped forward slightly. He's not your assistant, I said calmly. The room went quiet. Lucas looked at me like I had interrupted something sacred. Excuse me, he said. I met his eyes. You heard me. Mia turned fully now, watching closely. Chloe whispered something to her again, but Mia didn't react. Lucas smirked. Relax, Cole. I'm just assigning roles. Then assign fairly, I replied. A few students murmured. Ryan looked at me like he couldn't believe I spoke up. Lucas walked closer. You've changed, he said. You used to be quieter. I used to tolerate more, I said. A silence fell heavier this time. Lucas laughed. All right then, he said. Let's see how your brave version performs. The activity began. Lucas immediately started ordering Ryan around. Faster, he snapped. You're slowing us down. Ryan struggled with the equipment. It slipped from his hands and hit the floor loudly. Laughter spread across the hall. Ryan's face went red. I'm trying, he said. Lucas scoffed. Trying isn't enough. Something inside me shifted. I walked forward. Ryan noticed. Ethan, don't, he whispered. I ignored him. I picked up the equipment calmly. Step aside, I said. Lucas raised an eyebrow. Oh, the hero arrives. I didn't look at him. I fixed the setup in seconds. Done, I said. The instructor blinked. That was correct, he admitted. Lucas frowned. So what? He still messed up. I turned to him. No, I said. You broke the workflow. Not him. The room went silent again. Ryan stared at me like I wasn't real. Lucas's smile faded slightly. You're really defending him over nothing? I replied, it's not nothing. It's respect. Mia's expression shifted for the first time. She looked uncertain. Chloe leaned in again. He's just acting out, she whispered. He wants attention because he can't compete with Lucas. Mia didn't answer this time. She just kept watching me. After the event, the hallway outside the auditorium was tense. Ryan followed me. Dude, that was insane, he said. You just talked back to Lucas like it was nothing. I shrugged. It was nothing. It wasn't nothing to him, Ryan said. I stopped walking. Then he should learn that early. Ryan stared at me. Who are you becoming? I looked ahead. Someone who doesn't repeat mistakes. Mia stood near her locker later, Chloe beside her. You saw how he acted, right? Chloe said quickly. Cold. Detached. That's not strength, Mia. That's weakness. Mia frowned. He helped Ryan. Chloe smiled. Because he's lost. People who move on too fast are usually running away from something. Mia looked down. Running from what? Chloe shrugged. From rejection. From not being enough. Mia didn't respond, but her eyes shifted again toward me across the hallway. I was talking to Olivia Park near the window. Olivia tilted her head slightly. You always talk like you're older than everyone here, she said. I glanced at her. Maybe I just stopped thinking like a student. She smiled faintly. Where you've seen more than you say. I didn't answer. Olivia didn't push. Whatever it is, she said, you're different, but not in a bad way. I nodded once. Good enough for me. From a distance, Mia watched us talking. Her expression tightened slightly. Later that evening, Mia was called into a private office. Her father, Daniel Reynolds, sat behind the desk, serious. Mia, he said firmly, your grades are slipping slightly. I'm fine, she replied quickly. He leaned back. No distractions. Not now. Mia frowned. I'm not distracted. Daniel's voice hardened. Then explained Lucas Grant and that boy Ethan Cole. Mia froze. This is your final year mindset, he continued. Focus on your future, not emotional confusion. Mia looked down. You don't understand. Daniel stood. I understand more than you think. That line stayed with her longer than anything else that day. The next morning, everything felt like it was shifting again. Lucas was yelling at a junior student near the courtyard. Are you useless or just slow? He snapped. The younger student's books fell. Mia happened to walk in at that exact moment. She stopped. For the first time, she didn't admire Lucas. She just stared. Is this the person I chose? She whispered under her breath. I stood a few steps away, watching the same scene I had already lived through once before. But this time I didn't feel pain. Only confirmation. I turned slightly, thinking quietly. Now you're starting to see the truth I already lived through once. The change didn't happen in one moment. It spread slowly through the school like a truth no one could ignore anymore. Lucas Grant was still loud, still arrogant, but the room no longer responded the same way. I noticed it first in the hallway. Students stepped aside when he passed, but not out of respect anymore. It was discomfort, distance, avoidance. Ryan walked beside me, watching it too. People are acting different around him, he said. They always do, I replied. When they finally see someone clearly. Ryan glanced at me. You sound like you already knew this would happen. I didn't answer, because I did. By midweek, teachers started calling Lucas out in class. Lucas, that behavior is unacceptable, one of them said sharply. He scoffed. They started it. No one started anything, the teacher replied. You are responsible for your actions. A rare silence followed. Lucas looked around the room, waiting for someone to back him up. No one did. Even Chloe Hart wasn't sitting beside Mia anymore. She had quietly shifted seats 2 days ago. She doesn't want to be associated with him, Ryan muttered. Smart, I said. Ryan raised an eyebrow. You're not even surprised. I'm not supposed to be, I said. Mia noticed everything collapsing faster than she could process. Lucas called her name once in the corridor. She hesitated, then kept walking. That single moment said more than anything else. After class, Mia finally stopped me near the empty staircase. Ethan, she said, her voice shaking slightly. I turned slowly. What is it? She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in days. Can we talk? I nodded once. Talk. Ryan stayed a few steps behind. Olivia Park stood nearby too, quietly observing but not interfering. Mia swallowed hard. Everything is falling apart, she said. Lucas, everyone. I don't understand what happened. I stayed silent. She stepped closer. And you're different. Everyone says it. I see it too. I replied calmly. People change. Mia shook her head. Not like this. Her eyes filled slightly. Did you ever truly love me? The question hung in the air like something heavy enough to break it. Ryan looked away. Olivia didn't move. I didn't answer immediately, because the old me would have begged. The old me would have lied. I exhaled slowly. Yes, I said finally. Her breath caught. I continued, voice steady. But not anymore. Mia froze. I met her eyes fully now. I don't hate you, I said, but I can't go back to who I was. Her lips trembled. Because of me? I shook my head. Because of what I became when I stayed too long in something that was never mine. Silence hit harder this time. Mia stepped back like the words physically pushed her. Across the courtyard, Lucas was shouting again. This is all because of him, he yelled, pointing randomly. Ethan started this. He turned everyone against me. A few students glanced at him, then walked away. No one stopped. No one argued. No one cared. Ryan whispered, he's losing it. Olivia replied quietly, he already lost. Mia's voice broke again. So that's it? She asked me. You just in it like this? I looked at her for a long moment. No, I said. It already ended a long time ago. She shook her head. I didn't see it. You didn't want to, I said gently. That made her flinch more than anything else. Lucas tried one last time to regain control. He stood in the middle of the hallway, breathing hard. Fine, he said loudly. All of you are fake. Every single one of you. No one responded. He laughed bitterly. You think he's better than me? Ethan Cole? He's nothing. Still silence. Even Chloe didn't look at him anymore. That was the moment it truly broke. Lucas's voice dropped. You'll regret this. But his words fell into emptiness. And then he stood alone. Completely alone. Mia turned back to me, eyes red. I'm sorry, she whispered. For everything. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. Olivia stayed still. I nodded once. I know. She stepped closer again. I didn't mean to hurt you. I replied softly. Intent doesn't change impact. That made her cry. I looked at her one last time. You didn't lose me, I said. You lost the version of me who would have stayed no matter what. Mia covered her mouth, shaking. Ryan exhaled quietly like something heavy had finally lifted. Olivia glanced at me. Ready? She asked. I nodded. We turned away. This time, Mia didn't follow. Lucas was still shouting in the distance, but it sounded far away now like something from another life. Ryan walked beside me. So what now? He asked. I looked ahead. Now I live. Olivia smiled faintly. That sounds better than revenge. It is, I said. We kept walking, and for the first time, I wasn't chasing the past. I was leaving it behind completely. Reborn, not in pain, but in strength.